Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's show. And we do apologize if you've been sitting around and waiting for us. We started 10 minutes late due to technical fault. Welcome, everyone, to today's edition of Oche Kitchen. We're going to talk about something very, very interesting. I am so keen to hear more about night shifts and all that comes with it. People enjoy it. We need to find out why they enjoy it. Some people dread it. Let's find out.
Night duty.
Some people are in between, but they're still
night duty.
Let's see. We have a special guest today, Dr. Yel'Ora. Tell me, the lady I know. How come about this name, Yel'Ora? Tell me about it. It's lovely.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joma. Thank you, Foma. Thank you, ladies. So, I mean, I consider you guys friends. You know, we are friends. You know, sisters.
That's
you know,
right.
we are Nigerians. We are Igbo. So, Yel'Ora is actually. I mean, my name is Chinyelo Oredu. Chinyelo Oredu is my name. So, if you look very closely in Yel'Ora, you will see Chinyelo Oredu in it.
Absolutely.
You will see Yel'Ora in Chinyelo Oredu because Yel'Ora is actually the last part of Chinyelo.
That's correct.
And the first part of Oredu, Ora. So pretty much it means dusk to dawn. That's what it means.
It's cool. It's cool. It is.
Oh, wow, cool. Yeah. I know the yellow and the aura, but the dusk to dawn. Yeah. Oh, wow.
But cool. Me being me, let's not lose the Chinyelo in that name.
Oh, no. Anyway.
Don't make no mistakes. Madibo, then Afambo, Yel'Ora. That's it. Ijapa, not Yel'Ora. Yel'Ora. Not again. So it still retains that Igbo.
Omawa.
That's a good one. Let's no worry, have you. Anyway, you've got the platform, Chia. Tell us more about this topic. Everybody wants to know about.
So pretty much, you know, Yel'Ora is an idea that started when I just probably during the pandemic. You know, so many things happened during the pandemic, and it really, you know, kind of jumps. You know, started. You know, the wheels started turning. I mean, the wheels are always turning all the time, but they were really like on fast rotation because I started working nights pretty much because my children were young. My husband had a commute, you know, and the logistics of the whole thing. So I said, you know what, let me just do nights so that we can have some kind of, you know, organized life.
Balance.
But down the line, I just started to feel like, see that my health, my body, my mind was being stressed. You know, I wasn't resting. I wasn't eating right. My focus was just on everybody else besides myself. So I started to, like, when pandemic happened, because, you know, I work at Stanford Hospital in Connecticut. So the first patient who had COVID in the hospital came at night, the first patient, the index patient. And this patient, So the patient came, and shortly after that, we started to get so many other people. And one thing I noticed that people that died from COVID, a lot of them had a lot of health problems. A lot of them were overweight or obese. They had diabetes. So I think that was the turning point for me. And I said, you know what? Despite that I work at night, I have to really be more accountable for my health, because I mean, I have to say this here. Night shift is, it alters your circadian rhythm. It's circadian rhythm pretty much is your body clock. That's how you know that it's time to sleep. At night, the hormone melatonin gets, your body, your brain secretes it into your blood, and it makes you sleep. You feel sleepy. You have no control over it. Yes. So people who work at night, unfortunately, have to turn that mechanism off, because you need to be awake so that you don't make mistakes at work and all that. So, and because of that, it causes a lot of medical problems for people that work at night. So what I do with Yel'Ora is I educate people. I try to give people resources that help them to survive when they work at night. It doesn't mean that the risk is gone, because I don't think anybody should work nights forever. I know there are people that choose to do that, but you just have to be very vigilant about your health, because health is something you can't renew. You can't take nobody can give another person their life. Even if I love you so much, I can't die for you, that kind of thing. So I can just encourage you to be more aware of, going for your follow-up checkups, mammogram, pap smear, stuff like that can minimize disease from getting worse, right? So that's what I started doing with Yel'Ora. And then simple things like, during the holidays, shopping when you should be sleeping, and it impacts your family life, your marital life. I mean, think about it. Nighttime is good for sleep, is good for the S word. I mean, this is an adult show, so I can say it, good for that. It's good for
cuddling and the sexing. Yeah.
everything is magnified at night. Everything. Yes. Everything is beautiful at night. Christmas lights, more beautiful at night.
At night,
so,
yes.
So there's something that night magnifies. So when people have to now go to work at night, I think it takes away some of the joy that you get from being in this world. And I think it's something people don't really see about night people. You never go for parties. Some people, nobody sees you anywhere. After some time, people stop inviting you because you never show up. Either you're or you're going to work, and then your relationship. And I think there's some association with maybe mental illness, due to the lack of
working nights.
With the lack of sleep, not really working night, but the lack of sleep that could come from night shift. So these are areas that I kind of focus on, especially when I do coaching and also from using my my medical license to educate people a little bit more. If you really don't need to be doing it, maybe you should consider stopping it. Yeah, it's been shown that it cuts down your life by 7 years. This is research. I'm not making it up. So for me, I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to do nights forever. It's just that I just want people that do it to be a little bit more intentional. And then especially what you eat. I think food is a big one here. Yes. Because I see how people that work at night eat, eating at midnight, 1 a.m., you order Domino's or you order all the bad food that is available at night. Yeah. And that's part of the problem. At night, you don't have good food that are open at night. So you eat vending machine. All those things will promote your obesity, right? So if you can give people the roadmap that can help them to eat better, especially if you work at night or if you're eating overnight, what should you? I mean, Jama, you have a nutrition background. What exactly should you be focusing on? Protein. A lot of fiber, a lot of healthy nuts, all those
like
stuff
granola
like
bars. Yeah, granola bars instead of
minimize processed food and heavy carbohydrates. I know some people will tell me, oh, Chinelo, but Nigerian, we eat a lot of like fufu or eba, or our food is heavy in calories. Yeah. And then people I work with, I tell them, I think what you do, there's something called shifting your calories, in the sense that you don't eat the same amount of food every day. That is, especially when you get to a certain age, you should not be eating the same amount of food every day. Some days you may go to a party like Christmas, you eat a little more, and then other days you balance it out. I think that way your body, your metabolism remains intact, and your risk of diabetes is pretty lower. And these are things I try to bring up when I work with people who work at night, because I think food is a very big part of obesity. Food, what people eat, when people eat, how people eat. I think that's something that people can modify, because a lot of people don't exercise. Like, I think here in America they said it's like,
hello. We don't.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I think in America they say like 25% or less than that. So if we don't want to exercise, then we have to cut down what we eat. It's that is how the graph.
Yeah.
But
all right, Chair. What about people who have really planned or replanned their lifestyle to make their daytime their nighttime? And this includes sleeping long hours during the daytime and doing all the activities that is recommended for night. Ijoma, you know the activities I'm talking about. Yeah. So applying or just recreating their day hours or hours in the day, during the day, to match what it should have been at night.
Yes.
They have a balance in their body system.
That's a very good question. That's a very good question, because we actually do tell people, when you have people that are transitioning from, like maybe it's your first time going to work nights, or you, we have trainee doctors or nurses, and you're going back to your night schedule. There's a way you transition into that. There's a way you train your body into getting ready for the switch. You're switching your system from, the regular people's nighttime is going to be your daytime. So that is a good, there's a way to switch it, because first of all, you go to bed at the same time every day. That's what we kind of tell people. Like, if I'm going to start work, if I'm off today, right, and tomorrow is going to be my first night shift, right? So we tell people that, on that first day, on that night, the day you're off, stay awake, don't go to bed at night like everybody else. You're stretching it so that your brain will start to recognize that the following day, you need to stay awake at that same time, the next day. So that training is something that is encouraged. But the problem with it is that people that work nights, some of them have children. Some people work nights because they have children. So when you're telling them if you're single, you live by yourself, people that and live, they don't have a problem with night shift. Single people, unless you have a problem with sleep or something. But I know a lot of people who are single, and they get back home from their night shift, they sleep like 8 hours till it's time to go to work again. So they don't have a problem with it. It doesn't really upset them that much. The bigger problem are the people who have to get home from working overnight, prep food for the children, pick them up from school at the end of school, get them ready for homework. Those are the people that are really suffering the most. And those are the people that, try as they may, many years after, they still have not been able to adjust their schedule. And those are the people I really, really focus on, because they're the older people, right? They're the older people. They're the people that are at higher risk of getting sick. So what I would tell them is, a lot of people that work nights, right? Their friends don't know they work nights. There's some people that work nights, their friends don't know they work night. I'm keeping it very simple. You run your life like everybody else, like 9 to 5 people. You don't take phone calls if you have to go to work. You got to tell people that you work at night. You put a sticky note in front of your door. When the mailman comes, don't ring the bell. Leave that package at the door. These are simple things. You tell the person who does the lawn, don't come on Sunday work you have to prioritize your sleep and the time you have, so that people just don't disrupt and interrupt. I think that's the big problem. A lot of people that work nights, they don't really tell people that they do, and they find themselves trying to chug it out and soldier it.
Yeah, you're
Like,
right. You're right. You're right. Yeah,
you know, soldier it like everybody else. Tell people first of all, and ask for help. Ask for help. Can you please help me pick my child from school? I can sleep 2-3 hours more. You know, that kind of thing. You have to prioritize sleep. I think that, I don't know if it's a Nigerian thing. You know, we think we're very strong. We think we can soldier it. We can, you know, sleep has been shown to be essential for everything. It's when you sleep that the melatonin gets secreted. Melatonin has antioxidants. It helps you prevent cancer. It helps you prevent aging. It's anti-aging too. You know, it helps your GI system, digestion. You know, there's so many things that happens when you're sleeping. It helps with your memory. That's why when people don't sleep, they say, "Oh, I feel foggy," because it's when you sleep that your short-term memory gets transferred to long-term memory. It happens during sleep. That's why when you see some people when they're starting to have, you know, dementia, early signs, they can remember things that happened long time, but what they ate for breakfast, they won't remember it because the transfer is not happening.
Yeah.
So I try to, you know, tell people to get help and get gadgets. Invest in gadgets in your house that will help you. We know timer, things that have timer. You know, I think air fryer is one of the best equipment or that a human being could, you know, I don't know, invent.
What does an air fryer do for people?
Air fryer can do French fries for children.
Oh, you mean for quick cooking? Okay.
For quick cooking, you know, actually small things that kids like, you know.
And it's safe for kids to use too, yeah.
And it's safe for kids to use. There's no oil, there's no you know, you can set the heat, you can grill fish, you can, you know, it can actually, you can grill anything that you want. It can actually make your life easier, especially with kids, especially the period you're working, right? You know, the cleaning lady shouldn't come on the day you're working. If somebody cleans your house, don't come. I'm working. Come when I'm off. I need to sleep. I think if people take baby steps and doctor's appointments, try to put them when you can show up. I have a lot of people I know who work at night. They haven't gone to the doctor because it's either they are rushing home to drop child at school or they are rushing home to pick up. They cancel their doctor's appointments all the time, you know. So this is the baby steps that people can take to prioritize their health. Because I mean, to me, the main reasons people work nights is, number one, because of their children. That is big, to raise children. 2 is the money. I mean, by law, you should pay somebody who works nights more than somebody who works during the day. So there's a night shift differential. And 3, some people, you have to know also that some people have issues with concentration. There are people that are very, they get easily distracted. So when they go to work at night, it helps with their focus. You know, they can just, there's less people around, they can get in. And I mean, I've had people like that they function better when there's less noise. So so there are people like that. And of course, people go to school. A large percentage of our population, our people, work nights while they're going for, whether it's nursing degree or whatever, and business. People work nights and set up businesses.
The money,
business takes off, they stop working at night. So there's a place for night shift work in the economy, and that's why I kind of decided to focus on. I mean, I help everybody, but I help the people who do the hardest things.
Yeah. All right.
I have a question. Go ahead.
My question is, what are the most common diseases found amongst people who are known to have worked long night or night duties?
My question was
yeah. So this is the research, and this research is on the
let's do it two ways. Tell us based on research, and tell us from your experience and the few you've seen, please.
I'm going to answer this question because I love this question, because there's a lot of interest now in night shift.
You have to pay me. You love my first question. You love my second one. I'm giving the right question.
That number.
Yeah, in the right points. So
Good.
I love this question because just on December 9th, somebody sent me an email. I mean, I think this was on the BBC World. You can Google it and find it. That the mayor of London had put out I don't know, it's some email or whatever, but it was on the news that they're going to open up research on night shift workers.
Okay.
In the UK. There's going to be more research focused on that. And it kind of made me so happy because, first of all, you know that when people, I don't think that I've ever gone to my doctor's office and my doctor asked me, okay, what do you do, doctor? Do you work daytime or nighttime? My doctor has never asked me that. So if you don't separate people that work days from people that work nights, how are you going to do the research?
Nope.
You see why it's a problem? So first of all, we have to kind of change the way we collect data. So we have to collect data, appropriately. And that is something that I want to start doing. When people go to the doctor, tell your doctor you work at night. So that when he's talking to you, he's not talking to you like a 9 to 5 person, but somebody who works nights, and he will be more attentive to look, so he can look out for things that can be a problem. So going to the from the CDC, right? So the CDC research about cancer, about night shift workers shows that they have a high risk of cancer, breast cancer. But the research also said that it's common in people who have worked nights for more than 10 years and people who started working nights at a very young age. It's actually recommended that you shouldn't start working nights when you're less than 25, less than 30 years. You shouldn't, I guess because your brain is still growing, so you need a lot of sleep. That is the reason why. But all these things are risk-based. It doesn't mean that it correlates to disease. That's why the research needs to happen. Now we need to know, okay, this is what we think happens. Can we now follow these people and see if they get sick down the line? So, but I can tell you that people that work nights have high risk of obesity.
Okay.
Actually, they are 3 times, people that work nights are 3 times heavier than people that work daytime. This one is real. And I can tell you because it's sleep. Sleep is the big problem. When you don't sleep, your body will want to eat bad food. You crave sugar, you crave salt, you crave processed food when you don't sleep. So that is part of the reason why. And of course, people that work at night, they eat at nighttime. So the body is not supposed to eat at night. The human body is supposed to sleep at night. That's physiology.
That's how it's made, yeah.
That's how it's made. At night, everything shuts down. I'm sure you have friends that will tell you that when they eat at night, they feel nauseous or they feel full, or they have all kinds of stomach problems when they eat late at night. That's because the body is not supposed to eat at night. Everything shuts down. That's why it's time to sleep. Melatonin tells you shut down, let's go sleep. So the reversal, it's what puts people at risk for a lot of health issues. So to answer your question, they have risk of cancer. Breast cancer is one. That one has been studied because the highest studies they have in night shift workers is actually nurses.
Yes.
Nurses have been studied the most compared to any other healthcare, group of people. So and this is because there's more of them, and the UK does a lot of research on nurses. The European countries, Sweden, and most of the time they do it from an occupational health. Are people much? What is the health effect of certain things? So the UK has done a lot of research on nurses, and America is kind of catching up. But
how does sleep affect our breasts? What's the connection?
It affects everything about your body.
So the thing about, like I said, sleep is through the hormones. It's a hormonal thing. It's a hormonal pathway. It's because when you don't, like I said, when you don't sleep, what happens? Like, let me tell you what is normal. Normal is you run around, you're sleeping, right? You're in bed sleeping. Once the sun rises, the sensation, the rays of the sun stimulates nerves in your eyes. Mind you, your eyes are closed though. I mean, your eyes are closed and you're sleeping, but your brain is awake. So that sun rays is what tells you it's time to wake up. alarm clock. You will wake up, you run about, do your day, normal day. Then as the night, as the sun, that's why I'm telling you, the sun's down, who's up? The sun is the center of life. The sun is such an amazing, I mean, God, thank God for giving us the sun.
Solar power. It's like charging your computer. Yeah.
So when this sun now goes down, what else happens? When the sun goes down, that same sensation that the light has gone now tells your brain it's time to sleep. The brain now starts to melatonin.
Yes.
So that's the vampire hormone. That's the hormone that makes you sleep. Then you go to bed. So the problem with increased risk of breast cancer is that this melatonin, which is a hormone, has anti-cancer properties. It's antioxidant, it's anti-inflammatory, it's anti-cancer. So the reason night people might have more breast cancer than the normal people is because they don't secrete melatonin. When people are going to bed and secreting, you are trying to suppress.
Drinking Red Bull and coffee.
So you can stay awake. You're drinking coffee, exactly.
And Red Bull,
yeah, and Red Bull and coffee. There you go. So that is the thing. But breast cancer itself has so many other hormonal, genetic that predispose people to it. But when you talk about night shift, day shift, that is the reason why night people have more risk.
Where does dementia sit?
Hold on, let me ask. If you've been talking about research. So what if 10 years down the line it's a definite fact? I know every research is not like 100%. It's a definite fact that night shift workers experience more breast cancer, depression, heart disease, diabetes, blood pressure, everything because of the circadian cycle, overall. What would you suggest to the government do about it? Because in healthcare, we have to have a 24-hour shift. So what do you suggest? How do you think? What are your suggestions to the government to, I know you guys, like you said, the differential, you guys get paid more to work nights, you get all this, incentives, but is it enough, or you think the corporations, government should do more?
Absolutely. I think corporations should do more. I mean, post-COVID, look at what is going on. People are advocating to work 4 days a week. Monday to Thursday, work on Friday. Remote work. Meanwhile, some people are still going to work at night with all the risk involved in night shift, and still get paid the same that they were paid how many years ago. And the pay does not even cover for inflation and everything that has happened. But IJ, your question is very good. The thing about night shift is that there is a gene, and this is something that with the research, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on that genetic. So there's something called the eveningness, gene for eveningness, and what it means is that are certain people more likely to work nights and not get sick?
Oh,
you see, because the entire human genome has been coded, and that is from head to toe. All the diseases where it is. So that is the most exciting thing about this thing that I do. The entire human genome has been coded. So what it means is that in the future, people will be screened before they start working at night.
Wow, that's cool.
If you have the gene, that means you won't get sick. So worry about it. If you have the gene, then the discussion will continue. 2 years, 3 years, you have to get it. So the monitoring will be in place, with when we, because first of all, you have to identify a problem, right?
Yes.
If you identify it, then you put research. You fund the research, and then you take the research. You analyze it, and then you now make laws, and now whether it's medication or whatever that will help people to survive. So with this gene being out there and already being identified, then people
That's
should
beautiful.
People should know about it, because maybe there are a group of people out there that will work nights forever and they will never be sick.
Yes.
And I've met people like that. 30 years, they'll tell you I've worked nights. They don't take one single medication. They are as skinny as anything you can think of. Their skin is supple, because nights affect skin too. You know that. because you're not sleeping.
Aging.
You know, it makes you age 7 years, 7 years age. But there are people that don't have all those problems. But we don't know them because even the PCP doesn't even know that whether his patient works night or works day.
Okay.
You see? So I don't know. It's just what my mind told me, that this is something that we need to address, because as we continue to live longer, because people are living longer.
Yes.
Sometimes I go to the hospital. My youngest patient is 78 years old. The youngest person out of like 15 patients. Youngest, the oldest is maybe they are competing 98, 99. You know, they cross over to 100. And they have their faculties, you know, a good number of them very sharp. So it tells you that if people are living longer, that we really need to pay attention to people that are working, because a lot of people are actually working so hard and taking care of their parents. There's a lot of stress.
Our generation,
our generation, you know, I met this lady that told me she's worked night 30 years, you know. I said, oh, wow. I mean, I see her every day, you know, when we're leaving in the morning, or hello, hi, you know, we walk through. Then one day I thought I see you every day. I said, I'll just talk to you, you know. She told me she's worked night 30 years. I said, oh, wow, 30 years. Yeah. She told me that she wants to stop, but she's taking care of her mother.
No wonder.
That initially,
so after work, she goes to take care of her mom.
And when she go after work, she'll go home, she'll meet all her mother's needs, make sure she eats, make sure she, whatever, they maybe put her in front of the TV or whatever, then she'll go and rest. Because she figured out that at least during the day, she'll be able to spend time with her. At night, the mother will sleep, then she can go to work. And then maybe you can put a camera to see how she's moving around in the room. You know, so most times, most people may be able to stay alone at night. During the day, they need human interaction. Because during the day, you eat 3 meals now, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Somebody has to feed you. But once you feed somebody at night, you can put them to bed and they'll sleep.
Another 6-7 hours, yeah.
You know, so, you know, she told me that she feels stuck. Initially her children, now her mother. That she's stuck with this thing till her mother dies. So,
wahala no dey finish.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of people of our age in this predicament. And I don't know what the solution is, because I mean, who's going to take care of your loved one better than you? You know, it's yeah. So the Bay of London, good job for jumping on it.
No, what I was in terms of, I wanted to ask about dementia. Is there is it linked to night work?
So the association with dementia and cognitive problem, you know, there's a high risk. There's a strong correlation. You know, let me not say that everyone who works nights will have dementia. There's a strong correlation between working nights and risk for dementia, and not just dementia, mental illness, anxiety, depression, and everything about this is linked to sleep, lack of sleep, right? Sleep deprivation. Sleep is the glue, if I for lack of a better word, that connects all these things. The lack of sleep, because like I said, when we sleep, we go through, you know, the different stages. The stage where your brain is active, your body is still, your body is active, your brain is, so it rotates, you know, the REM sleep, you know, not rapid eye movement sleep, the non-rapid eye movement sleep. Our body goes through all this during a whole stretch of nights sleep. So unfortunately, when you sleep, that is where, like I said, your memory, that is where you transfer short-term memory, what you just ate for dinner. That is when it gets transferred to long-term. So that when I ask you 2 days later, on Saturday morning, I'll ask you, what did you eat? You will remember it. Because the memory has been transferred. Because the brain is super, super amazing. But studies have shown that people who work nights, later in life, as they get older, that mechanism is not that good because of sleep deprivation. So short-term memory, you know, and dementia at the beginning stage, it's a problem with short-term memory. Ask them their name. They remember they will never forget their name, most of them.
Yes.
They will hardly ever forget their name. But they will remember so many things that happened when they were growing up. But they cannot tell you. They can't tell you what they ate for the last meal prior. They won't remember it because that circuit has been disrupted. So most of this relationship with night shift is because night shift workers are more predisposed to sleep deprivation. It's not necessarily the shift itself, the night work. It's night workers who don't prioritize sleep. You have to, I'm so big with tracking all these, trackers. I was going to speak my Igbo.
That's okay. You can speak Igbo.
So I'm so big with this thing because sometimes you really need to tell yourself sleeping 4 hours, 5 hours of sleep is not enough. That means that some of those parties they will invite you for, whether Christmas or whatever, you just last minute, I can't make it. And you go in bed, cover yourself, wear your comfortable pajamas and sleep. We don't sleep enough. Our people don't sleep. And our body too much. Every single place we have our hands in everything.
I wanted to ask you that question. I don't sleep. I believe I don't sleep enough. And maybe you need to put me on a tracker to let's find out if I actually sleep. But personally,
this one
let me confess, I don't sleep enough.
Our 8 p.m. time. And she doesn't work
enough. So that's why I'm very keen. I tell myself, jokingly, I'm not a nurse, I'm not in the medical field. I don't have any reason to do nights unless I choose to do my own personal night, right?
Yeah.
But anytime I hear night shift, I tell them, I do night shift too. When I have friends who are working night shift, I'm on the phone with them if they want to talk. I'm always, not because I don't love sleep. And when I put my head on the pillow, I doze off without any issues. But preceding hours to that sleep, I'll be busy doing nothing, in fact. There are things I can leave, but I still do them. So that's why I'm very passionate when they talk about sleep. And I'll be honest with you, if you run the test on me, I may be one of those that have that gene. It doesn't bother me. I wake up in the morning, I carry on. No health issues. Everything's just okay. Headache, yeah, here and there. That's when my account is overdrawn. No, when my account is overdrawn, the headache comes. If it's loaded, don't worry. I'll not sleep and I'm still carrying on. It doesn't worry me. Even people around me will think, you don't sleep enough. My mom will tell me, you don't sleep enough.
Yeah, it is quick, yeah.
And that means we care in Igbo, but that is well. Sometimes, some Saturdays, I'll just lie in bed all through the day. So I think I make up for my lost hours. Anyway, people on the panel, on the show, please, you can ask your questions. Ask Chiel any question you have on this topic.
I have to ask one before we go to the panel. Chinyalo, for 24-hour facilities, I was reading somewhere that they say it doesn't matter if you work nights 1 day or 10 days, but I'm just thinking, do you think rotating shifts, like maybe every 3 months they'll say 3 to 11 people do night shift and night shift do morning shift, like rotate the shift like that, you think it's going to help? Or no, it's going to mess up their cycle again?
Studies show that you should pick one. Permanent night is better than rotating.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Permanent night is better than rotating, as in be a night shifter, that is 100% night shift, not today night, tomorrow day. That one is worse. It's worse, but we know that in the circle of life that people still have to be, even when you're off, you're awake, when on the day you're off and you have children, you're going to be taking care of your children just like you're on day shift. So, but if when it comes to work, they recommend that people should
stick to one schedule.
Stick to either day or night or even evening, the middle one. Yeah. But if you have to rotate, as a matter of fact, they said that you should do like a set of 3, that you should do a set of 3 stretch. Not the case whereby you do, what's wrong with my phone? Not a case whereby you do, why is this thing not charging? Not a case whereby you do, I don't want my phone to die.
You will not die in Jesus' name.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. Yeah, do all 3 nights, consecutive nights.
Yes.
Then break it rather than doing.
The things hospitals are doing, they'll have you do 3 12,
Night
12-hour shifts and
Yeah, you should do like a stretch of 3, but they actually said that you should try not to do more than 5 in a row. Because doctors now, they push for people to do like 7 on, 7 off. So, which is brutal. You're doing
that's
like
brutal.
7 nights of 12 hours in a row, and
That's
then you're
too much.
off for another 7. Then you do another 7. Then you're off. It's like pushing you to like do everything, knock it off now, and then go rest. But I mean, people are pushing for that to be changed because it's just not physiologic. By the time you get to that 4th or 5th, your body is shot. But there are shifts. I mean, there are things like that. Some people like to do 10. Some people like to do 12, 14 stretch of nights.
But
That's why we need to.
I heard that some people go to night shift and just sleep, and they don't do anything.
That's what exactly. I heard
Depending
like
on the facility. Yeah.
I have a friend who loves night shifts. She
Because
said
they go there
the
to
only thing
sleep.
she does, she studies, she watches African movies, and she sleeps. Because by the time she gets there, everything is done, and the residents are sleeping, so she naps.
Yeah.
What do you say to
Maybe
that?
those are the genes. Maybe those are the genes that don't get sick, and you think they are night watching. Meanwhile, they're
No,
sleeping.
but the thing about it is that I mean, what I kind of advocate to is that, I mean, you have to grow at a job. For whatever reason you work nights, for whatever reason you work at night. Like I said, children, differential, school. For whatever reason you work nights, anything you do and you're not growing, you need to find a way to pivot into something else. You need to grow at a job. If you're still going to work at night and you're sleeping at night and you're not feeding your mind, you're not improving yourself for your next level. I don't care how much they pay you. You need to grow. I think growth is the most important. And people can grow while working nights because people go to work nights to get education, to raise children, to start business, people get comfortable. And that's part of the reason why, not just talking about health, wellness. When I talk about wellness, you really have to be investing in things that allow you to get better. Because the thing about night is that it gives you a lot of autonomy. Nobody tells you what to do.
Yes.
You pace yourself. You can sleep, wake up, continue, or you can do your job and then go and sleep. And you get comfortable with that. But when you sit down and you think about it, you haven't grown. You're within your profession, because you have to get out of that comfort and get into the day shift or whatever you need to do. Work nights for a reason. That's what I tell people. Find every day you go to work at night, figure out why you're doing it. Because it carries health problems, it carries wellness problems. And when that problem no longer exists, stop doing it. Stop doing it. Move on to something else. Somebody else will take your place. We live in a 247 economy. People are always moving. It's I tell my children, when you want Amazon, when you order on Amazon and it comes within hours, somebody was awake at night packing in the warehouse.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right? There's somebody in the warehouse. So when it's time for you to move on to the next job, somebody else will take your place. Don't get comfortable, and I say this with all my heart, even from people that are, fellow Nigerians or whatever. Growth is the most important human. I don't even know the word to use to describe. It's something you should aspire for in everything, whether it's marriage, whether it's raising. You should grow.
Yes.
You don't do nights and just be, fixated on that it allows you to sleep. Use it to get education. Start that business you've been thinking about. Read, know about. I mean, people ask me, why did I work nights? I started working nights for my children. I continued to work nights up to a point because I could do so many things. I could learn so many things. I mean, now there's so many things else that I do besides working at night. And am I going to continue working nights? At some point, I'm going to pivot. I cut back. I mean, actually cut back on my nights because my children are getting older. And I have a spouse. And the more I read around this thing, the more I realize that you have to practice what you preach, right?
Yes.
You have to prioritize your wellness. And sometimes And sometimes it just means that you just have to listen to people around you. If your family is telling you that you have to stop working at night, it's time to stop.
Yes.
I don't care how much they pay you. If family says it's time to stop, you go to your supervisor, tell him, listen, give me daytime. My family is coming first. I used to do my children are older. I have no reason to continue doing this. The money is good, but I just have to do what is right for my family. So I think I can relate to somebody who could just be doing it for so long and get so comfortable doing it. But I think there should be a why story to it. And when the why no longer exists, because every problem has an expiration date. I don't care what the problem is. Every problem one day will expire. Is that somebody, either it's death or the problem changes or your focus changes. So you don't consider it a problem anymore. Right? So for whatever reason that you do it, when the why no longer exists, that you need to modify how you do it because you can get sick from it. The research is very minimal, but everything is sketchy. Maybe you get dementia, maybe you get stroke, maybe you get heart attack, there are a lot of maybes out there. I mean, I know personally nurses that had cancer working at night. Some of the nurses, Dr. Radio, I just had cancer. I can't work nights anymore. Dr. Radio, I found out I have high blood pressure. My doctor said I should stop. So there are sketchy stories out there, but on a bigger platform, we're not talking about it. But we know that a lot of people work at night. We know.
Plenty people work at night. Plenty.
Yeah.
Plenty. Yeah. And again, we can't, in our society, even not just in the Western society, all over the world, there are hospitals everywhere, no matter what the level of the country is, third world, first or second world country. There are hospitals and people do nights everywhere. We've been talking about the medical line as if that's where it all starts and ends. No. In UK,
construction
we've got lots of these road tracks. People maintain it, and they maintain it at night. So these men and women who work within that industry work nights.
And even public safety. Public safety, police officers, transportation. Transportation, so there are so many people who work nights, and everybody's job has a different level of physicality, right? So but I think the connection, they call it the shared suffering or whatever, is everybody is trying to stay awake when they should be sleeping. That is the common ground that everybody suffers, and that seems to be the cause of most of the health problems. Health, emotional, mental health problems is tied to sleep. So how do we get people to be a little bit more attentive to this? And I want to add this here because sometimes when I see patients that work at night, I guess because I do this, I pay attention to, when I see a patient, you work days, you work nights, and I see somebody who comes in after an accident, motor accident, and they tell me, I'm like, do you, and depending on the time of the day, and I ask the patient, okay, thank God you had an accident, you survived, but you just had damage to the car, and then the next question is, what happened? Now that you survived, what happened? They'll never tell you this. You can never. How can you say you were driving and you fell asleep? Unless you just came off the boat yesterday. You can never say that. Nobody ever says that. Yeah. You can't say that because it's a lot of litigation. It's a lot of, so most times the person will say, I don't remember. I don't remember, So now I don't remember. Did you have a seizure? Did you have a mini stroke? But maybe the person fell asleep.
Yeah.
Split second.
Can I just say something?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Doc, thank you so much for all you've said. Well, for me, I've been working nights, and I think it's the best time to work to me, because I can sleep for 12 hours when I come back from work. I can sleep for
You have
12
Gene
hours,
X.
13 hours. Huh?
You have
You
Gene
said?
X, the gene she's talking about.
Yeah, because I think it's the best time to work. I can sleep for 14 hours.
24 hours you can sleep.
There are days I can sleep for 48 hours that I'm not going to work. I'll sleep for
Yeah.
48 hours.
Mhm.
Sleep have never been a problem to me. And like you said, look at how tiny I am upon I've been doing night work. In as far as here, you said it changes our system. We eat late. And so on. Sometimes I skip my meals. That's why sometimes I always have cashew nuts with me, because sometimes I don't like to eat again. I'll just only be chewing nuts in the car. Other than that, to me, night is a very good time to walk. But like you said, we can't continue night for all through. That's fine. I think, thank you so much for coming to talk to us about our night shifts.
So, good question. Let me ask you a question I have for you. You say you sleep 14 hours.
More than that.
So, more than 14 hours. So, do you have any other home like when you get home after your night shift, do you have any home responsibilities, like, children to take to school or cook dinner or something for?
No. I always have food. Sometimes when I come, I don't even, sometimes my interest then is not, once I come back from work, my interest is not to even eat. My interest is to go to bed.
No, Benson, she's trying to figure out, do you have a family?
No other work.
He's single, yeah. Essentially. Yeah. That's why.
That's the thing about it. Like I said, single people, I mean, night shift is the best.
They make up for the lost times. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Nobody, unless if you have a pet at home, that when you get home you have to
feed your
pet. But there are so many cool things, gadgets out there that can even keep the pets happy when you're not there. Have you seen those things? There's some, Wi-Fi controlled. You can be at work and it's popping out balls and popping out, and the pet is having fun while you're at work. There's so many cool things now. So, but what I'm trying to say is that most times for single people, I think they do navigate night shift much better than people that have families, have children, and have significant others. Because when you finish that night shift and you transition home, then another work starts. Whether it's meal prep, whether it's school run or activities around the children, homework, and people calling you on the phone because they think that
you have time.
These are the people that and these are a core of the people that do nights, and that I really do help. And but thank you for your question. Yeah, but whatever you do, I think you're on top of it. Minimizing eating at night, and that's one thing. Minimizing a high caloric intake at night, as somebody that works night shift, will help you control your weight.
Okay.
When I go up and I see some of my nurses, they have like a big bowl of pasta and all the nice things and pizza at 2 a.m. I know. And when I call Dr. Yel'Ora, this is not for you. This is not for you. We know that, I said, listen, I don't think doing it one time will kill you, but we cannot normalize this. But I understand. That, I mean, life is really hard. Life is really, juggling all these things.
Yeah. We'll have another hand up. Ike wants to say something. Mr. Watson. Ike. Okay. You had your hand up.
Yeah, I had my hand up because
Honor here since so.
Benson, avoid me today. Avoid me.
He's just coming out from a night shift.
I'm out of here. Thank you. Okay, ma. That's why it's so funny. When you guys have been talking, I've been listening, I've been laughing.
Night shift expert.
I work. If I calculate the amount of night shift I've worked, it's crazy. because I work in a hospital 24/7. So I think when I was a little bit younger in my career, it was easier. Now it's a little harder. Sometimes I do 7 nights in a row. I do 10 nights in a row.
Wow.
I do 12 nights in a row.
Hey.
And he's
And
one of those that sleep at work. Wait.
Ibamba.
if I wish I could sleep at work, honestly, I wish I could sleep at work, because
You don't have opportunity to sleep at work.
if you work in a very busy hospital, it's not really, you get 1 hour to go and rest. In that 1 hour, you're trying to nap. You do a power nap for 1 hour to just get your strength back. But for me, it's so funny that no matter how much I start working maybe 10 p.m., get off at 6 a.m., I get home at 6:20 or 6:30. It takes me at least 1.5 hours to calm down. What I mean is to decompress, to
for your body to
to just my body to get down. So most times maybe try and get something to eat. But no matter how much I try to sleep, 12 p.m., 12 noon, I'm awake.
Wow.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Clockwise. I'll wake up at 12, try to go back to sleep, no way. So I have to get up, do something, then maybe do small cat naps, here and there. What I mean is you nod off for 30 minutes, 1 hour. Before you know what's happening, it's time to go back to work. So, and it's not a good thing, to be honest with you. I've been listening to her, but also research says that when you spend so much time doing nights, it cuts down on your life too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she mentioned it. Yeah.
Okay, it cuts down on your life. And it goes with a lot of things. It goes with, like you said, eating bad habits. Your eating habits gets very bad. Because someone like me that likes to eat my fufu, it no matter how, if now midnight or 1 hour, I feel chop the fufu. Now that's wrong. That's wrong. I know that it's a feeding habit. It's wrong. Secondly, high blood pressure. Your blood pressure goes. Most who work nights suffer high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Many people who work nights, we have high blood pressure, and then also that ties down to obesity, because some people work nights. You eat wrong because there's no real good food. You are eating either most of us work nights. I know most of my colleagues, junk food is either McDonald's or one stupid food like that.
Yeah.
So obesity comes in too. So working nights when the kids were small was the best thing you did, because you work nights, you come back home, you take care of the children, prepare them and all that, and they go to school, you get to sleep, and then you go and bring them back. That was wonderful. Now the kids are grown. Unfortunately, if you are still in a profession where you are stuck doing nights, then you are doing it. But to be honest, it's not the best. If it's something you can switch out of it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Personal life, sometimes personal life, it takes a hit too, right? Because by the time you're coming back, your spouse is going out. So somebody is coming in, somebody is going out. Where do you see? You see on your day off. Your days off, you want to sleep.
Short time.
Yeah, the quickie helps, but
quickie,
long, right? It's not really the best too. Yeah, I do. Maka onishukwa. We can go so proud.
Nobody does
I wanted to add
that.
something too.
Okay.
So I was
Chidel,
just
do you want to answer? Do you want to piggyback on Abasi before the next?
No, Abasi, everything you said is everything you said is on point. Everything you said is on point. I can see that you work in the hospital setting too. Everything is on point. But I guess the angle I come from, because people, as easy as it is to somebody who works in healthcare to know all these things, the regular person probably is carried away by night differential that your employer gives you, which I don't even think that differential should be the driving force. You may be driving it the first time for people, okay, because some people will work nights because that's the only job you can find. Because initially you might be trying to get a job, you can't find any job, there's a night shift job, you jump in, you get it. But when you do it and you get the experience from working at night, now you're good enough, you can go and apply for day shift jobs or other jobs that are kind of 9 to 5. But most people get used to it. You get used to it. It gives you time to think. It gives you time to, to study for those that want to study. And I know so many people that work nights and they run businesses. They do it and start a business and they get out of it. But I think what I want to add in addition to what he has said is one thing people don't think about, especially when you live in Western country and you work at night, is commute. Your commute time when you work at night, it will, I mean, it will either add more, it will add more years to your life. You can add more years to your life if you have the shortest commute as somebody who works at night. Because you know that, you know, in Western world, you know, you deal with 4 seasons, and driving at winter at night is horrible. You know, snowstorm, whatever. I mean, if you work in healthcare, if you have to be at work, you have to be at work. So it's not for you.
I'm glad. Sorry to cut you off, but I'm glad you said that. Three months ago, a girl that used to work with us in New York, she moved to Connecticut, Fairfield. Actually, she was still, you know, working in New York because of the money. And on her way home, like 7 a.m., like 8 a.m. in the morning, she went under the trailer and passed away.
Oh my God.
So we are thinking, on her exit, the Fairfield exit. So we are thinking maybe she slept off and maybe the trailer in front of her braked and she didn't. I don't know. When she died.
Oh my God, that's tragic.
She has a teenage son, yeah.
That's tragic. Yeah, because I tell people sleep when you work. I don't care. I mean, even if you go to work and you sleep at work, it's not the same as sleeping on your bed.
It's not,
because when you're sleeping at work, your body knows that you should be at work. So you're kind of, it's like you had a Zulu. You're just like, you know, having all these quick naps that don't really, are not restorative. They're not refreshing. So you just don't feel like you have enough energy. You may feel like you're fine. And then you have a 1 hour commute home, or I don't know, 1.5 hours commute. And that's what I tell residents, residents, when I talk to them, if you're going to work at night, you have to think about 4 seasons. You're going to go to that job, winter, fall, spring, summer. You're going to like it in the summer. You're going to love it in the spring. Yes. Fall is fine. Winter, that is a problem.
It is.
Winter, that is the problem, because you're going to be driving with, at night, poor visibility, snow, black ice, all those things. Increases your chances of accident. Day shift workers don't have that problem because you never really know how much you drive smoothly during the day. You see the roads, you see everything.
Even with the traffic.
Even with traffic. But when you do it at night, that same road is now treacherous.
Yes.
That's because night takes away so many things. So I think it will add to people's wellness when they factor in proximity to a night shift job. It's extremely very important. Extremely very important, because that cup of coffee, 8 ounces or 6 ounces, because most of the time they tell you don't drink coffee 3 hours before the end of your shift. So drink it just that you have enough zest to drive. But if your commute now starts to last 1 hour, then the effect of that whatever may be wearing off. And that is why sometimes as you're now getting home, boom, that's
I never heard that before.
Yeah, because sometimes when you drink too much caffeine, it's a stimulant, then you can't sleep when you get home. But you just want to have enough of it to carry you through your commute, if that is what your body needs. Because every job is not, some night shift jobs are very physical. Some night shift jobs are more mental. But the commonality is that you're sleep deprived, your sleep is not good, and you can drive and fall asleep, and you don't want that. And of course, you have to know your body. When you feel sleepy, you get off the road and find somewhere and sleep. And just
somebody
sleep,
else wants to chip in. Somebody else wants to chip in. As a why? Better.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that I agree with everything the doc has said. And I did do night shift for my early career. I did night shift for like 4 years. So I completely get it. But it's also not only hard on single people, because my husband did it right after I did, because of our children were still growing up at the time. And I know he really found it difficult. I think he only lasted for 2 years because, when he will come back, he will have to take care of the children. And then I'll go to work in the daytime. So it was rough on him, and he had to get out of it as quickly as possible. So I do agree with everything you guys are saying. It's really rough on the body. And if anybody don't have to do it, they should not do it.
How did it
Yeah.
affect, how did it affect the meeting times? The copulation time.
The vitamin
copulation.
supplementation, the vitamin
How
S.
did you,
the
yeah,
vitamin-
how did you affect it? Or how did you manage it?
night duty.
Yeah, that's why.
Actually, also.
I'm
Tell me,
sorry.
how did it affect
Huh?
the copulation time? What meeting time? How did you manage
My
that?
dear,
Yeah.
You don't ask children. You don't
What?
ask children. No one. That's why you ask.
it is. It's difficult. I mean, you only get to do it when he's home, when you both are home. Both at work.
And you people are both tired because you've been doing
So,
night.
although we
And
had
the
our
kids
children
are
while I was still
everywhere.
doing night shifts, but it is difficult.
Anyway, thank God. That's why we
I'll
have
tell you,
children
Can you
here.
hear me?
I'll tell
Yeah,
you
we
one
can.
thing.
Children, how did
and
you
this
have
is-
6 kids having doing night shifts? Children had twins doing. Children had twins doing night shifts. Can you imagine?
but this is what I tell people that work at night,
But
because
you
I
should.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you should see my pictures during those days. I look like a zombie. I mean,
Oh,
all of
wow.
the pictures I took that time, yeah, I look tired in all of them. Even when my twins, when we went to church, when we did the Christmas service, I looked so tired that day. So it was really rough for me, I must say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But that's why I do what I do. That's why I kind of started, my lifestyle and wellness for people that work at night, because I think that people that work nights, and I mean, the angle I come from, and I say this all the time, is people that work nights, it gives you a lot of resilience. I mean, and I say this because anytime you find yourself able to do any task or any job or anything that a lot of people find difficult, I think it gives you power. It gives you a lot of power because you have something they don't have. And I think power can be transferred into profit. And I'll give you an example of that. People that work nights can negotiate more with employer because nobody wants to do it. As long as you're a good worker, you can negotiate with your employer. And this is what I keep telling, if you're struggling at night, you got to tell your boss that, listen, find me something else to do, because this thing is impacting my health, is impacting my family life, and I feel like I'm getting into accident. And that's something they ask all the time. Are you always in accident? When you go for a real evaluation as somebody that is sleep deprived, they're going to ask you, have you been in accidents? Because that means that you're falling asleep while driving. And it becomes a big litigation for your job if you have formally complained to them that you fall asleep driving, and they still cannot, switch you to something else. Because by law, I'm not making it up, because I do a lot of reading around it. By law, somebody who works at night should be offered an opportunity to switch over to day shift work at their request. It is by law. Yes. But you should, because they know it's hard. The law knows it's hard, and the law knows it's unhealthy, right? Because even women weren't allowed to work nights as far back as 1940 or thereabout. Women were not allowed to work nights because it affects fertility. Night shift work can
or their
affect
husbands were worried they were doing night and doing,
not even that. But if you look at the economy, everything is economy, because economy, first of all, needs women. Women are the bedrock of any economy, because we are the ones who give birth to the children who are the workforce. If women don't have children, there's no economy, because there's no workforce. The economy needs people to work. So they figured out that women needed to stay home. That's why a lot of women didn't work back in the ages. Women needed to stay home, cook, clean, wait for their husbands, and be having children. So they didn't want
we're coming to that again. We're agitating. Yeah, we're agitating to stay at home because I've been number one.
We're agitating, honestly.
Yeah,
we don't want to be super women anymore. We want to stay at home, baby girls.
Exactly.
Soft life. Anyway, Chia, thank you so much. It's been an informative session, a very interesting one. Like I keep saying, I do nights more than people who have been employed to do nights.
You do yours without pay.
The difference is that nobody pays me for that. Please, for people who are listening to us, we are in no way telling you not to do night duties. All those jobs that needs to be done at night needs to be covered by somebody. But
Yes.
what we're talking about is managing your lifestyle to help you keep healthy and live a better and longer life. Please, please, please apply for night jobs, but please negotiate well. Make sure you're not overworked, and make sure you don't push yourself, because sometimes I know people who press on for more night shift because of the money, because they have this holiday plan, they have this ashebi to buy, they have all nonsense, all manner of foolishness, and they want to do night. They are stressing their system and stressing their body and stressing people around them and the community. It affects everybody when there's a problem. The story you just told about the colleague that died after duty, it happened to Nana as well. One of her friends on her way from work had a car accident as well and died. This was a few months ago. So it is a common story. We're not making it up. It happened. Please, let's look after ourselves. Let's seek counsel. Let's speak to people who could help. Ask for help. Ask people to help you do things when you need to rest.
And eat well. Eat well. If you must eat at night, snack on nuts, fruits, veggies, carrots.
Personally,
so have them laying around every day. Yeah.
I'll go with eba because I like the soup.
Even if you want to do eba, just do a little bit of eba with lots of
plenty of portion size.
Yeah. Yes, make the eba 1/4 of your meal, and the soup, with less oil too, with less.
I hope someone is listening to that portion size. Yeah. So do your night shift, take the right thing to eat, and somebody's laughing. Anyway,
nuts is good for the brain. The nut is brain food. Yeah.
So I have to add one thing. And I need hit on. Okay, so when people work nights for that differential, what I encourage people, when you work at night and you get that differential, put that differential aside. Because you're working when somebody else is sleeping. Somebody else is sleeping and you're working. Man, your life should be shining more than that person's life.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying. Your life, this whole natural here. Your life should be shining more than that person's life. That means that differential, you will use it to elevate your life.
Amen.
You will use it. And you won't use it because you suffered to get it. You will not spend it on frivolous things. You will put it on projects. So that one day you stop working at night. One day you just have to tell yourself, enough, I'm out.
Amen.
That is just what I have to add.
And that's another opening for another set that work at night. Do the right thing, do your job, and look after yourself. Very, very important. Well-being. Thank you, everyone. And that's the end of today's show. Join us next week for another interesting show. Chia, thank you so much.
The catchphrase for tonight is use your differential to elevate your
life. Right, there you go.
Yes.
Differential elevate. Yeah.
Ask for help. Anytime you need help, ask for help. Don't brave it. Don't be that Superman or Superwoman. Sleep, rest. Your body needs it. If your body releases that thing, I can't forget.
Melatonin.
That thing. Yes.
Also, Ella.
I'm not a doctor, am I? Am I in that field? Anyway, thank you very much and have a good evening. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Enjoy
everybody. Happy holidays.
Safe trip.
Bye.
Enjoy yourself.
Please come back again. Give us another day to find another topic, please. We know you're busy.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for always coming. Thank you.
Okay.
I love you.
Take care. Bye-bye. And tell your mayor to call me when he's doing that research.
I will tell Sadikan.
Ifeoma works in housing. I'm sure she can connect you with the mayor. Yeah, Ifeoma works in housing. So
yeah, because did I tell you I'm a British citizen?
You're not serious. And what are you doing in US?
I'm a British citizen. I was born in Birmingham. I was born in Birmingham. Yeah.
When I'm in London.
You better come home. We need you here for a cuppa.
So send email to the mayor and connect me. Let's do it.
Yes. All right then. Okay. That's a good one. All right. Take care.
All right. Thank you, guys. Good night. Happy holidays. See you same time.
Bye.
Bye.